Do you like big numbers? Of course you do. Do you have the masculine urge to wield a 200 kilogram slab of testosterone with more tenacity than a pit bull named Princess? Damn right you do. You might just have what it takes to be a greatsword main hunter. I hope you don't value your health too much though, because if you want big damage, you're also going to be receiving big damage. After all, who needs a full health bar anyway? Victory and death are both sides of the same blade. Alma, the Art of Hunting 2025, or whenever that book came out. But goddamn, I love big swords. So anyways, let's learn how you too can be a great sword hunter. First up, big risk, bigger damage.
That's quite big.
You see that monster standing suspiciously still? Why not introduce it to your humble greatsword to its cranium? Be the guts player you've always wanted to be with Charge Strike. Hope there are no liars watching this, because next we have true Charge Strike. With this, you have the power of a 500 kg bomb at your fingertips. See that monster skull? Get rid of it. That pesky tail, oh bye-bye. Your gambling debt, can't slice that in half. Speaking of gambling, appear to be locked in place for 5 seconds as you charge. Better hope that monster doesn't move, or you've just missed your big win. Don't gamble, kids. Unless you like big numbers, of course. 90% of greatsword players quit before hitting big damage. With all this power at your hands, you might just end up going berserk. Do you get it? Seriously though, usually you want to save up your big true strike for a guaranteed hit. With your main weapon being charge strike, you also have other forms of damage. It's a little less damage, but the B button. This is more for getting one extra little hit in within a big string of attacks. Other than that, you'll mainly be using charge strike, which can also be used in the air. Hunters be looking like fucking Adam Smasher.
We're having a moment here.
But guess what? If you're feeling a little nervous, here's your best friend, shoulder bash. You may be asking, well, what's a shoulder bash, Gatsu? Well, my hunter friend, this baby is your little ticket out of being flattened like a fucking roadkill when your charge goes wrong. You see those massive chains coming at you? Just shoulder bash through them, Lamau. No knockback and a lot of reduced damage. It literally does not have a downside. So it could be argued the pure amount of HUZ you'll attract from getting a perfect shoulder bash is a downside, as it will distract you from the hunt. But I disagree. And if you bash a monster's head just enough, you might even get a little stun in there, at which point you obliterate its fucking skull with a true strike until the very molecules cry for mercy. As a greatsword main, shoulder bash will be your saviour. This will land you more dunks on a monster's head than fucking LeBron. And save your life more times than your palico. Which isn't very much. Thanks, Valen. But I promise it will literally be your saviour in your worst time of need. Now, with this massive slab of material you're holding, there is of course a safer route to block damage. You could always simply block. They buffed blocking in Wilds quite a bit, but, you know, who needs blocking when you have Shoulder Bash, baby? Doctor, the Jin that had just called my little bitch for blocking the entire of his mass. I'm going to cry. But seriously, block, you know, blocks a decent amount of damage. It's like a free get out of jail free card if you don't want to risk a Shoulder Bash. You don't even really need guard up unless you want to block some like very big hits. You can also you can kick, but who the fuck uses kick? But I said Shoulder Bash, baby. One of Wild's big new mechanics is wounding and focusing. As you abuse these poor creatures, wounds will begin to appear, which you can either attack them normally or do a focus strike. Drag that very sharp, skin-tearing blade across their poor hide, knocking him down if it's on the leg, at which point you delete it. This mechanic is a really sick and cool addition. If only Gemma would look at me the same way I look at Open Wound, my beloved. One day. Fun fact, with the Greatsword, the attack and animation of the focus strike is based on where you look. If you look up, you do a large downward slash. Look dead ahead, you get a big horizontal arc in front of you, tearing through anyone it hits. Although, I would not call it the best focus strike. I still give the best wound killer to the bow, as it's literally a fucking anti-air missile. So yeah. Another fun feature of most larger weapons is offsets. If you see a monster doing a very choreographed attack, you can just parry it. Lamau. For a Greatsword, this has been added to an existing move, which is the upward slash. You can now also charge this by holding X and Y on Xbox controls at least, because I refuse to play Monster Hunter on a fucking keyboard, which is interesting on, you know, bowgun. Offsets are just a really cool way to mix up the fight, as well as it adds more of a skill ceiling to the hunts themselves. They are also the closest we are getting to any form of hunter arts in a next-gen Monster Hunter game. Rise is not next-gen. No, I hear what you're saying. A parry? A Greatsword main trying to parry? What are you, a fucking Dex user? Well, do I have a surprise for you? To see that monster over double your size coming in for a chomp, thinking there is nothing you can do but block, then all of a sudden, it turns into a fucking clash, baby! That 500 kg bear fucking use those muscles and make his ass grass! I fucking love Clash! Raiden, stop that blade! One day my glorious King Glabnus will be added, so it's actually just, you know, Metal Gear. Clash is just a really fun mechanic and truly makes the power fantasy of fighting giant ass monsters feel immersive. It also gives a decent amount of opportunity to follow up attack. This is not Greatsword exclusive, neither is Offset, but they have some really cool looking animations, so I thought I'd mention it. It also answers the age-old question, how strong are hunters truly? The answer is yes. It is that simple. Both these mechanics just make you feel like the MC of a power fantasy anime. Not to mention they expand on the gameplay loop and skill cap of hunting by a decent yet not overwhelming margin. Much like mounting, however, offsets don't have a very long cooldown, you can kind of just spam those. Clashes, however, do have an invisible cooldown timer. A timer that, from your immersion, I have not googled the time. So when it happens, it happens. But overall, as a Greatsword user, your main goal is going to be to deal big damage. And if there isn't a gun lance or lance user, try take aggro as much as possible, as your block is usually a very good way to damage. Though, as Jin is really the only boss that has an aggro mechanic, much like Behemoth in World, aggro isn't extremely important, as long as you're hitting your big strikes. And when it comes to builds, you actually have a lot of options. Crit builds, power breaker setups, stuns. While something such as bow, the main meta is crit based builds. Greatsword is quite versatile due to its ability to both stun rather easily, as well as block. Both things that can be improved by skills. But yeah, Greatsword equals big damage and good survivability. I can't wait until you upgrade your weapon to only miss and know you could have done slightly more damage now. Anyways, go on Hunter, go out there and go Berserk. Yum. You get, you know what? Never mind. Look at that hunter go. Fresh out of Punished Academy. Oh shit, wait, oh fuck. Hunter behind you. Hunter, he has dragon pods in. No, Hunter.